Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich. Alongside me, as always, my co-host, Runz.
Yes, sir.
Guys, broken ankles, vacations. This weekend's a wedding trip to Washington, D.C. Nothing stops this podcast. Whatever. Nothing stops this podcast from airing on a weekly basis. Just want to remind you that we're brought to you in partnership with pwpartners.com, ROHworld.com, last word on ProWrestling.com, and we're featured on the Wrestling to the Max network. All right, so we're going to start off a little differently this week. We're going to start off with our fun little segment, Two Truths, One Lie. As you know, my man Runz here has not listened or has not been on social media and looked at anything wrestling related since the PWG tournament because he doesn't want to find out that the winner was... I'm not going to say the winner, I was just trying to get him. But anyway, until October 11th, we will not have any news from his side. So, in one of my favorite moments for the last couple of weeks, I get to present him two truths and one lie to see if he can figure out which piece of wrestling news is incorrect. Here we go. Luke Harper has been released from the WWE. Number 2, Gabe Sapolsky's email to the Evolve roster before last weekend was leaked to a number of websites and published, and he got some flack for it because of his association with NXT. Number 3, the Young Bucks invaded Monday Night Raw and were issued a cease and desist where they cannot use the Too Sweet symbol.
I mean, like, how would they have invaded? I mean, because you asked me, like, prior to the show, I'm going to assume that this is true. So which one of those other two? Like, I would be impressed. I get that. I don't know. See, maybe could you have made up the Gabe Sapolsky thing? Like, why would you even make that up? If that's what you made up, that is very WCW. Man, it's so believable that Luke Harper could get released too. I'm gonna say that that's true. And I'm gonna say that the Young Bucks thing is true, and I guess the Gabe Sapolsky thing is a lie.
You're incorrect. So,
thank God.
On Monday Night Raw, the Young Bucks, just like DX did, went outside of Raw had a bunch of Bullet Club wearing fans, and basically they got on a loudspeaker, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Finn Balor, we know you're in there, come out. Oh wait, sorry, they didn't say AJ because it was Raw. Then
Genius.
The very next day,
I mean, it's pure brilliance.
The very next day, they get a cease and desist from the WWE. They are not allowed to use the Too Sweet hand gesture on any of their merchandise, and they cannot use it at wrestling events. They've already released a shirt that says cease and desist with the kind of the Bullet Club style, and it has them holding the Too Sweets, but it's censored, and it says 2 SW and then like symbols and T.
Yes.
And
they're just going to make them more popular. Like, WWE is idiots.
A fan created a thing that you hold while you're doing the Too Sweet symbol between your two fingers and your thumb that says censored, and then it says being the elite in the bottom quarter, and he's like, yo, this is the prototype, you guys should run with this, like, just do it. So I just want to see the next Ring of Honor show.
WWE is dumb. Like, the only thing that's going to come of this is people are going to be tight at them for doing it because people love the fucking Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks are going to be even more popular and even more over and sell even more merchandise because, exactly, they're going to sell the censored hand gesture. They're going to sell other things. Pure brilliance.
Did you also know that it's actually, apparently Triple H he gets very angry when he hears that it's called a Too Sweet because they call it the Turkish Wolf Pack. And that's because from the 1960s militant group that actually used it. And he's like, Too Sweet just sounds too soft. It sounds silly.
Okay. All right.
All right. So Luke Harper's not released. However, you would figure that he probably should be asking for that soon.
It's an interesting lie to make up. That was good.
That was tough. It was tough because I was going to tell you that Ethan Page signed with TNA, which is a lie. But the truth is, Ethan Page is done with Evolve. He won the tag titles, lost them the next night, and then announced that he's not going to be in the next set of shows. He's leaving Evolve. Amicable split. Gabe tweeted out congratulations, it was good working with you, blah blah. And the email thing is completely true.
Yeah, I mean that would have been too weird to make up.
The confirmed reports. I don't really have anyone to say who it is. Definitely, there have been rumors floating around, and a lot of that happened. Then there was some craziness where he tried to find out who it was, and people published that article. I'll let you catch up with that later. I don't really want to get into it because it was kind of weird and whatever. But yeah, that's out there. But to be honest, through all this shit, Paige leaving, them not being able to air on FloSlam and fighting with them, the email leak, Evolve 93 was really good. So you need to go back and check that out. And it's setting up a Riddle versus Keith Lee last man standing match.
Well, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. So it'll be good to run back and catch up on those somehow. But was the email that he's leaving, or
no? It was just getting them ready for the show. That's the weird thing about it. It was hey guys, remember not to do this stuff because WWE doesn't really like it, and you don't want to have to break that habit later. Just things like that. Then he pointed out something that William Regal said about the fact that you have to do strong lockups. Don't start off with weak lockups, and that's something that Regal had noticed at PWG. So then Regal ended up tweeting yo guys, listen, I'm not saying anyone at PWG I didn't like. I'm just saying I believe in strong lockups. So that was happening. It's kind of craziness.
I mean that makes no sense to me. Why people would be up in arms about that kind of stuff. It's he's quoting somebody who's working somewhat regularly, every now and then with the Evolve roster, and someone who's considered one of the best in-ring wrestlers of all time. So, okay, great. Yeah, William Regal likes a strong lockup. No shit, that's his style. Could have told you that 20 years ago. So, whatever. I don't know. People are too sensitive these days.
100%. And Ric Flair slept with 10,000 women. Swear to God.
Does that?
I was going to put that one in, but I knew that wasn't even one for debate.
No,
so I
wouldn't. Yeah, there would have been no question about that one.
I was
what a joke.
To Cheap Heat, and Rosenberg was trying to do the math. So, I mean, he's a genius. He's okay, so if he started when he was 18, and he's starts doing the math, he's that's 3 or 4 a week. He goes, you figure when he first got married with a new wife, he's probably in love with her for a couple months, and he's in his best behavior, so he's not doing anything crazy. So you might want to eliminate those months. He's so this is kind of crazy. It was it was kind of ridiculous. But it was hard not to share that news with you this week. I was I need to keep that one just in case something else comes out. All right, so with that out of the way, let's look at the shows. We had Ring of Honor Death by Dishonor last Friday, so I covered that. You can go check that out at rohworld.com, pwponderings.com, my full review. I will not regale you guys with the entire thing, match by match, but I'll tell you that the things that stood out to me, I thought the Las Vegas street fight with Jay White and Punishment Martinez was really good. I've never seen a chair shot the way they set it up when they had the chairs facing each other open, and then they laid closed chairs across the top to create a more stable, crazy mini table in the ring. So I thought that spot was crazy. And then I like tacks. I will say that I'm a little bit of a traditionalist. I think all tacks should be in a black velvet bag. I don't like it when they're in any other kind of bag. But aside from that, I thought that match was really good, and I thought the right guy went over. Let's see. I really like the Last Man Standing match. Silas won. I was hoping for that. Last real man standing. The only thing that at the very end of the match, I don't know if you noticed this, he did the zip tie to the top of the ladder. and when they fell over, I guess the idea was that the zip tie was supposed to hold Lethal down on the ladder, and he wouldn't be able to get up and everything. But it kind of came loose. But it still ended, I thought, really well, and Lethal won. And then you had the two big title changes. Kenny King wins in front of his hometown. His daughter gets to celebrate. Stat Wife definitely cried. It was a great moment overall. And then the great moments weren't over because the Motor City Machine Guns, who had never been Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, although it was a little tainted by the addiction running in, they were able to dethrone the Young Bucks.
Yeah, we discussed that and both stated how we'd be disappointed if, that's kind of how they got in, and that's exactly what happened. And so it was kind of just like, whatever. Yeah, great. Like, it would have been cool if the Guns won the tag titles 5-6 years ago. I don't really care about them anymore. I've watched them so much, and nothing has really changed in the past number of years since they've been in TNA and all that. So, it's kind of just whatever. I'm not a fan of the tag titles changing back and forth every other month, and I would have rather see them lose the 6-man than the tag titles, I guess. But I don't know.
Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention one. I was kind of surprised that Bully Ray and the Briscoes lost to. I mean, Billy Ray and the Briscoes beat the Kingdom, but then that led to Jay Briscoe just taking the end of a table and ramming into the side of Bully Ray's head. So that was pretty good. I also liked him cursing on camera and being like, "We are the best motherfucking tag team on the planet." I thought that was dope. And you didn't get to see Being the Elite, but when Adam Page came out, so the whole thing was that the Stooge calls Cody. He's like, "I've got Adam Page, I've got Hangman," like, distorted voice and everything. He's like, "You know who I am." So they, or I think he called. Wait, he might have called Kenny. Anyway, they don't believe him until like Hangman's actually like in a bathtub all tied up. The Stooge leaves the room to like brag about it more, and then he goes back and he's like, "Yeah, so Hangman, it looks like you're in trouble," and Hangman's gone. So then the idea was that he escaped from the Stooge and went straight into the match, and that's why he was still tied up and everything.
Right.
So then they ask him what they did to them. He goes, "Man." So they taped him down to a chair, had his eyes open, and made him watch Monday Night Raw. And they're like, "All right, I mean that's kind of long, but So then they're like, then they made me watch Smackdown, and he's like, they're like, "Oh, but that was good and it's shorter and everything." Then they made me watch the entire Mae Young Classic, and they were like, "Oh, no, but Candice is in that, like it's good." And then they're like, and he goes, then they made me watch all of 205 Live, and they lost it. Like, what the like Cody's banging on the walls and shit, like losing his mind. And so then that led to them doing the whole thing at Raw, and but it's great. I mean, Paige has been tweeting like, WWE kidnapped me and made me watch 205 Live. Yeah. So I really liked the way they worked that in. So I actually like the show from top to bottom. I mean, I thought it was look, their pay-per-views have been strong all year. I don't think you can say one of them hasn't been good. Like the wrestling's been good on it, and there were changes this time around. I know that you're probably going to say that you don't like the way, you already said you don't like the way the tag title changed. I don't think you believe in Mr. King King as much as I do right now. I was hyped, man.
King has been my boy since day one, so it always my boy.
So how are you not hyped?
I'm as hyped as the Las Vegas crowd was. They weren't, and that was disappointing.
Yeah. Well,
I just, it's the same thing with, kind of what you said about Shinsuke, right? Where like it hasn't, this return and the new Kenny King hasn't been built up enough. He hasn't been held down enough. And I just feel like it would have meant more if there was a heel champion who he couldn't get the better of, and so on and so on. All so right. I understand, hey, strike while the iron is hot. That's fine. I love Kenny King, and I hope they make more of this as they go down the line, but the initial response from the crowd was kind of like, oh, yay, what's next? So
They had, what was that? Jay Lethal, I think I'm beating the Elite. Jay Lethal and Cole Cabana were just talking backstage at the event, and Chucky T comes up and they're like, yo, who the hell is this guy? Like, he was just being a dick to them, and they were just like, wait, I think, like, no, Cabana was like, yo, that guy's really a dick, and Lethal's like, I don't even know who he is. Yeah, I super popped for that one, so that show's still the best thing ever, and I'll be excited when you can go back to watching it, because it's...
I can't wait to watch 7 of them.
It's been fantastic. All right, so that was, then you had the main event, which I thought, I didn't love the main event, but I thought that this came off way better than Cody Sonata.
Well, but that wasn't hard to do, right? Like, Cody Sonata was really very just bad and not good, so it wasn't difficult for them to do. Suzuki is a legend, he's a vet. He knows what the hell he's doing. He knows his character. It wasn't what I expected it to be. It wasn't anything more. It wasn't anything less. So, it was what it was. There was no crazy title change or anything like that here. No major angle or anything really stemming from it. So it was what it was. It was a cool match. It was nice for ROH to get Suzuki and have him in the U.S. and all that. So it was what it was. It did its job.
And they just announced that Cody is going to be defending against Kushida at the Global Wars Columbus show, October 14th.
That'll be fun, but who the hell cares?
And they also announced, this hadn't been announced, it was in the press release, but they signed Suzuki to appear at all 4 shows. Toru Yano is going to be at Columbus.
Why even mention it?
And Will Ospreay.
What a weird foursome.
Yeah, well, listen, I was just excited to break the news over on ROHworld.com, so, what can I say? I read. So that was, I'm looking forward to the Global War store. I hope that one of the shows is on a pay-per-view. I think the Columbus show actually has a weird start time at 4:30. So I'm kind of...
Usually they put, like, the Toronto or whatever, one of those shows on there.
Well, I think it's Buffalo... I want to say it's Buffalo, Columbus, Chicago. It's like Midwestern-y.
Yeah, Chicago. So, like, they'll put on one of those shows. Kenny
Omega is going to defend against the U.S. title against Yoshihashi.
Joy.
And also, it's going to be the Kingdom. They announced it's going to be the Kingdom versus King and the Young Bucks. I mean, Omega and the Young Bucks. I keep saying the wrong Kenny.
Like, we have Kenny Omega in... Wait. Who's defending against Yoshihashi? Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Kenny Omega coming to do a Ring of Honor show in America. One that he does, I don't know, twice a year. And we're going to have him face Yoshihashi.
But that's, I think...
Nope.
Hold on. That's New Japan side, man.
Nope.
That's your New Japan boys.
I don't care. ROH, fight for it. ROH, do something. No, this is our one chance at Kenny Omega. Please, can we have him wrestle anyone?
Well, I mean, it's going to be Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks teaming up against the Kingdom.
How can you... to the world.
I'm excited about that because I hope the Kingdom finally gets to go over and prove that they're the best six-man, the best trio in Ring of Honor.
They could have beat the Briscoes and Bully Ray. But they should beat Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks.
There was some confusion there. I mean, I'm sure that things will change.
Okay.
All right. So then we had WWE. I can't remember all the names anymore.
No Mercy.
No Mercy. I don't know. I mean, the main event I was really excited for, and I felt like it didn't really live up to what it could have been. I mean, somebody published an article, David Bixenspan, I believe, over Deadspin. I mean, just about... There was a stretch where they didn't know what to do. Like 20 seconds of them just like not knowing what to do in the middle of the ring during the match. Lesnar looks blown up, like way too early, man. Like he looks like he's gonna die at the end of these matches. Like what happened? He's so red. He's so fucking red.
Right, but I don't know that that's ever been any different. I don't know. Aside from that, yeah, the end of the match, just one F5, and that's the end of Braun Strowman. I thought the the crowd reaction, even the crowd reaction on Monday night, it was less than it's been, and that's exactly what I said was going to happen, right? Like if Braun Strowman doesn't win right now, then people are going to react negatively. And I don't mean negatively to the result. I mean negatively to Braun Strowman. Now they're going to like, oh, well, we had such high hopes for this guy, but here we go again. So, that's just unfortunate. And hopefully this was the first of a series, hopefully. And at some point we see this again, and we see it bigger and better, and they do more, and they expand the match, and, it ends up better.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, it seems, you end up having Roman go over on Cena.
Right, which was perfectly acceptable. And it was a good match.
Okay, it was a good match, but man, when Cena did that crazy like roll pickup from the floor to the attitude adjustment, holy crap! Have you ever like that was absurd. That was the most creative way to put the attitude.
He's done it before.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, the roll through and lift up. Yes, he has. But John Cena shouldn't have won this. Like, if John Cena wins, then I feel like it's worse than Roman Reigns winning, because it's like, oh, well, really, here we go again. Like, why the hell does John Cena need to beat Roman Reigns at this point? Now he's going to leave and go do a TV show and blah, blah. The way that they sold this on the pay-per-view and on Monday Night Raw, they legitimately said that this was a bigger moment than Roman Reigns ending The Undertaker's career. What? He just beat John Cena in a regular match. Like, John Cena is not going away forever. What? I don't understand that whatsoever, unless The Undertaker's coming back for something. So whatever. But yeah, I mean, I was fine with it. I enjoyed the match. I understand the handshake afterwards, but I would have rather Roman Reigns punch him in the mouth or something like that.
Of course you would. Well, I'll say that Statwife was...
They're not friends, they're rivals.
Well, yeah, that was weird. I didn't understand why...
I get it. It's the passing of the torch. But, he beat you. Just disrespect him. It would have been better.
Well, it's interesting because Statwife was rather upset afterwards, where Cena, it seemed, it was kind of weird because it seemed like he was kind of implying that he was going to, it looked like he was going to retire, right? Didn't you get that feeling almost for a second? The way he was looking around and really taking the crowd in, no?
No.
Not for 1 second?
They wanted you to feel that way.
Well, okay, I didn't think it.
No.
I'm saying, can you understand how Statwife was sitting there, and she was like, what is he doing?
Yes, of course.
Wait a minute, what's going on? What,
right, of course.
He's not retiring, is he?
Right, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It was glorious.
No offense to Statwife, that's just...
no.
Yeah, that's exactly what they wanted you to feel. Like, I don't... John Cena is not retiring. He's not going to lose a match to Roman Reigns at No Mercy and never wrestle again. So that would just be wow.
I actually hope. I hope that ends up happening.
Yeah, well, then good for him.
Just to see her cry. Because she always makes fun of me by getting teary-eyed because of the Ric Flair promo, the Ric Flair video package with HBK. So all I want is a John Cena retirement package, and she gets super upset. All right, what else? Jordan lost. That was predictable. The way, we kind of said that he was going to lose with some nonsense going on from the Miz.
Yeah, and are they really about to reunite the Shield to face the Miz Taraj?
I don't know. Is it? I almost feel like it's just a tease, but
I agree. And then when Roman was like, "Nah, they got their stuff," and I'm the man kind of thing, I was like, "Oh, all right," a little tension there. But then towards the end of the night, then the Miz Taraj doing the Shield thing, and I don't know. Like it's the Miz, Bo Dallas, and fucking Curtis Axel. Like I don't. Yeah, they've been great. The Miz is awesome, but it's Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Like no. I don't want to see the Shield reunited to face the Miz Taraj.
Well, I mean, yeah, no. It is a waste. I don't think it.
Like if the Miz Taraj were like dope heels right now and running through people and wrecking shit on Raw, then that's different. But like they've done nothing. They've gotten beat up, left and right. So no, please. I hope it's just tease.
Well, I think what if Jordan gets included? What if the tease is that Roman's going to do it? Jordan gets included, and then Jordan turns. And
I was thinking of some Roman Jordan alliance sort of a thing instead.
Because I could see,
I really don't know.
He's not really his son. It's really Hornswoggle.
It's kind of fun not reading anything wrestling because no idea what's going on, what's being talked about, anything.
You did see... Did you watch 205 Live this week? All right. Really? Even after what happened?
That's a form of torture, correct?
But what did you... But, I mean, obviously Enzo walks away with the title. He beats Neville.
Form of torture.
And then Raw ends with... I mean, it was a little weird. Because I don't know if it's at the point yet where Enzo should have had the entire roster beat the crap out of it. Like,
is that what happened on 205 Live?
No, so it actually... Oh, so you're not following anything. This is crazy. So, you watched all of Raw?
Yes.
The very end. So you saw...
Yeah, which is really weird.
Go ahead.
Like, isn't that weird? Like, that was the main event of Raw?
Well, yeah. It's even weirder that... So Neville attacks him, right? Braun comes out and destroys him. And leaves. And then, after it went off the air, they kept taping it. Everyone on the 205 roster, heels and faces, hit them with his finisher.
Yeah, well, he shit on them all on Raw, so that makes perfect sense.
I don't think he's that super heel yet, though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I don't think he's super heel.
3 weeks ago, we talked about how it was weird that he kind of shit on Gran Turismo and Cedric Alexander.
Fucking shit. I know, by the way, if anyone's listening and doesn't understand what he just said, it's Grand Metalik, all right? This is offensive.
Oh, Grand Metalik, I'm sorry.
Offensive.
So, like, when he shit on them when they were his tag team partners, and then, on Raw, he ran down every single one of them. He shit on Cedric Alexander, shit on Grandmama, shit on Neville, everyone, Captain Underpants. So, I enjoyed it on Raw, but like I was watching it, on such a delay that when Raw ended, I was like, wait, what? Did I miss the main event? What the hell happened? I had to like restart it to make sure that was the last thing.
I don't know if I can continue doing this show if you're going to continue to insult Grand Metalik. Just on a side note.
I think I'm all out of grands, so you're probably good.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I just didn't. I don't know, man. It was a pretty brutal beatdown. Is the only thing that I'm saying.
Right. I think rightfully so. I think that's where they're going. I enjoy that because it's how everyone feels, right? Like, everyone is like, oh, fuck this guy. I don't want to see him on 205 Live. This is bullshit. And now he's the champion and yada, yada, yada. So, I'm fine with that. I like that. I have no problem with that angle, that storyline. Just what's going to happen. I'm assuming a lumberjack match. Where like just no one touches Neville and they all kill Enzo, something like that.
But
and like
Neville can't challenge for it,
right? So true. Well, maybe I don't know. What do they do? Yeah, they can do it with anyone, I guess. But like, do they just have like a battle royal and they all throw Enzo out? I don't know. Like you got to figure he holds this for a little bit, right? Like he's teasing that he wants to like bling out the belt and get a whole new belt and all that.
Oh, he was wearing it in public. Like there were pictures surfaced on Twitter that he was like at a comic shop, just walking around wearing his title belt.
Jesus.
So that's legit.
I wonder like if other wrestlers are tight about that or like happy. I'm really curious.
I would, hands down, not even a fucking question. If I legitimately was a champion,
of course you would.
I would wear that shit.
Of course you would.
Everywhere.
Of course you would.
Years after I lost the belt and I had my own.
No.
What do you
but
mean?
Like
to the
you
deli?
wouldn't. You would.
To the deli, bro. To get
would you really be wearing it when like people are like, oh yo, are you the champion? Oh fuck wrestling, man. Wrestling is fake. It's bullshit, right? Oh, it's scripted, dude. Oh.
I'd stretch him out right there, bro. Fucking old school shit, bro.
I don't think you would appreciate the attention that comes your way.
I'd like fucking Richard Belzer them and just like fucking just put them in a move in a headlock and like hurt them. Oh my God, I think you're too old for that reference.
Too young?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm too old. All right,
yes.
Let's move on. So as predicted, Alexa came out with a title, and then she started a program with Mickie James the next night. So
yeah,
I mean, I feel like this will go on for a little bit until at least Asuka comes out because Asuka's supposed to be making an appearance.
Right, clearly, right. Like Alexa's going to get destroyed by Asuka at TLC, and right, like that would just make sense.
Well, I think Asuka is actually just like coming out, so
yeah, of course.
I bet you she beats Mickie, right? Alexa beats Mickie, and then Asuka faces her down, and then Alexa beats her in 3 seconds in an impromptu match.
Asuka beats her?
No. I said it the right way. She hands her first loss on a roll-up during an unannounced match on the pay-per-view.
I'll just stop watching wrestling.
So, whatever. I like Mickie James. I mean,
she looked good on Raw.
She has been. So I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect filler feud.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. They have a history, and Mickie is solid in the ring, as well as her finer qualities. So there's a lot to enjoy about this feud, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with the other four that they've been pushing: Emma, Nia, Sasha, and Bayley. And I guess we got a little taste of that on Raw. Every time Sasha and Bayley team, I anticipate the split. So they're going to have to give that to me at some point, because otherwise it's going to drive me insane.
You also had Finn Balor wearing new attire, and he got beaten down by Bray before the match, but then was able to still win. Which, I mean, I just felt bad for Bray in this situation almost. No,
you know who I feel bad for in this situation? Us. Because what the hell? A month ago? Right? No, not even 2 weeks ago. I sat here and I said, wait, wasn't Goldust heel? Why the hell is he a good guy now? Oh, okay, cool. They're going to go with this Dustin stuff. That's fine. And then, now he's right back to being a heel, beating up Finn Balor. What? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. But stop freaking turning this guy.
Maybe he's having I don't know, some sort of split personality thing.
And he's gonna start going, and all that shit again.
A return to Goldust doing that would be amazing.
You going to the ring?
I really liked when he got, because he got electrocuted, right?
Yeah. It's outrageous.
Just classic stuff. All right, so that was No Mercy. Most of the I thought,
that was No Mercy, Raw, SmackDown.
Yeah, it was. Well, SmackDown, we did have a return. I actually had a student come up to me and complain and say, how many times can Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens fight?
Forever?
And my response was... Forever. But, god damn it. Does it have to be this way? He beats the crap out of him, puts him in, a chair neck brace, and then throws the chair neck braced Sami Zayn into Shane McMahon? Come on, man. I can't. Isn't there anyone else they could have done this to?
Nope.
Because here's the thing. So now, what
you
happens?
See how much more you hate Kevin Owens right now?
He's a piece of motherfucking shit, and I want Shane McMahon to legitimately hurt him in that cell.
Yeah. I hope everyone hears this and makes my esteemed co-host here realize that he is doing exactly what they want him to do. And it is fantastic.
I mean, here's the thing. But let's be a little clear here. What's the point in doing that to Zayn?
It makes you hate Kevin Owens.
But, okay.
Everybody loves Sami Zayn. So, having him come out there, they have this history. Hey, maybe if anyone can talk this guy off the ledge, it's going to be Sami. And then Kevin Owens slaps him in the face and shits on him. Get out of here. I don't need your advice. You suck. What have you done? It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
But when does Sami get back at him?
He's beat him before. He'll beat him eventually.
Because
it doesn't have to happen anytime soon. It doesn't have to be in a feud. It doesn't have to be for years. He'll get him. This is never going to end, ever.
I just want Sami to destroy him. Destroy him.
It's really unfortunate that that's probably never going to happen for you.
I mean, all right. Let's move on to something that I was excited about. Ziggler comes out as Undertaker, and then finally somebody interrupted him. Bobby Roode came out, and I mean, I'm a little confused that Roode's coming out as a face.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been the face since he debuted on SmackDown, so I guess that's what we were rolling with, and that's fine because people love the song, and Bobby Roode is great. But sooner than later, he's going to have to make the switch and be that attacking AJ Styles or whatever it needs to be. That's got to happen sooner than later.
All right. Then Shinsuke finally came back to SmackDown. It was funny because Corey Graves said, Shinsuke Nakamura is going on SmackDown, is going to be on SmackDown Live tonight. And my wife goes, wait a minute. Isn't he on the show? Why would this be a big deal? Which I thought really, to me, described this segment kind of well. I was excited about the Usos and the New Day. It's now announced that they're going to be the match is going to be in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Have you ever seen a tag team Hell in a Cell?
I was gonna say, like, yeah, we've seen like DX versus McMahon and the Big Show, the McMahons and the Big Show, or you know, stuff like that. But I don't think we've ever seen like tag teams like the Usos and the New Day, and that's really going to be a lot of fun. We've discussed it numerous times how great these guys are together and the chemistry they have. So the Usos are definitely going to sell the Uso Penitentiary and all of that. So I'm definitely looking forward to the build and the match.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great. And the last thing is that we got to celebrate Rusev getting the town to the city from the mayor of his town, in the town he grew up in Bulgaria. And that son of a bitch snake in the grass, Randy Orton, had to go and he just RKO'd him out of nowhere.
Right.
Who saw that coming?
I really love that Aiden English was just. I can just picture Rusev seems like the type of mafioso guy where he'd be like, "Oh, yo, this fucking guy, he's great. Yo, come sing for me," and just go from there. So I enjoyed that element of added comedy.
I think he's. I was listening to Cheap Heat and they were talking about how he's like the new genius.
Yeah,
like he's just got a great voice and can do awesome stuff. I think. You keep using him in this role, and he's really obnoxious, but he's actually a good singer, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny that like we have Elias on Raw and Aiden English on SmackDown, and just at the same time, two guys singing, doing things that are, kind of Attitude Era-ish in not the way that people, necessarily look at the Attitude Era, but these were the type of gimmicks that were around back then.
And then, it's weird because there's a guy on Ring of Honor, he wrestled like one match, Timbershea, I believe his name is, but he sings during the match.
Okay.
Which I think was like a different twist to it. So there's 3 guys now who sing during matches. I mean, or at least are known for their singing, so it's kind of weird. And then... So on 205 Live, basically Enzo came out and was just kind of being more of a jerk.
Right.
I didn't really watch a lot of it. I just watched that. NXT's been good. Every week it's.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I watched this week. I don't think so.
It was a good overall show. You should check it out when you get a chance. I don't want to spoil it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely will.
All right. I'm trying to think. Is there anything I'm missing here?
No, I don't think so.
All right, this weekend we do not have a pay-per-view. There's not a Hell in a Cell is, I believe, next weekend.
Yep.
And so that'll be interesting. I mean, it's also a Comic-Con, so I'm hoping there'll be some WWF or some old WWF guys or WWE guys at the show. So I never know who I might bump into there. Looking forward to that. So just before we head out of here, just want to remind you guys, you can follow us on Twitter over at Running Wild LWOS. You can email us at runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at Running Wild on Wrestling. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, everywhere you can get your podcasts. Please make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe. That really helps us out and just makes us feel darn good about ourselves. You can follow my Ring of Honor coverage over at pwponderings.com and rohworld.com. Listen to me on the newscast over there. We might have to... This is going to be difficult to end the show from now on. And
we are not part of the Bullet Club, so...
I might have to bleep it out.
I don't think it applies to us.
I might have to beep it out. What if Vince cease and desists us?
What if the Young Bucks cease and desist your cease and desist? Like, yo, cut that out, bro. That's our shit.
Oh, man. So, like, if we bleep this, then they could come back at us for bleeping?
Yeah, because, everyone listens to this.
My mind is blown. Well, until next week, I just want to remind you that you guys have been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.
For Rich and Runz. This is the host of Ring of Honor Wrestling, Ian Riccaboni, signing off. Be sure to join them next week for another episode of the Running Wild podcast.